Welcome back, everyone, to another debrief. This is going to be chapter 11, titled With Practice, You Will Become a Joyous, Deliberate Creator. For those of you that have not been keeping along or that just found this debrief, we are debriefing the book Ask and It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks. So chapter 11, basically, as the title says, is with practice, you will become a joyous, deliberate creator, meaning you will deliberately be creating your life and it'll be a joyful experience. That is what it sums up to me, just reading the title, right? And so here, basically, it's telling you, hey, as you want to focus, on the creative energy, there are two factors to consider. First, intensity and speed of energy. So intensity would be, right, for example, the time that you spend, it says here, the time you have spent considering your desire and to what degree you have become specific. So intensity and speed, for example, the $1 million, right? I love speaking of the $1 million because I'm calling it into my life, guys. So, right, it's like, for example, the $1 million. How often am I thinking about the $1 million throughout my day? Right? How deep and concentrated into the thought of the $1 million, how deep into that am I doing it, and how often am I doing it? Because it isn't enough to just put an alarm and be like, oh, let's think of $1 million. Here we go, right? It's more of like, as I am thinking of the $1 million, am I thinking of all the creations that I'm going to be able to do with that $1 million? Am I diving deep into my imagination? That is what it's saying here. As you focus creative energy, these are the two factors, intensity and speed. So that's basically, it's telling you here already exactly what to do to get to the things that you desire, to become that creator of the life and the lifestyle that you want to embody, right? But it's saying these are the things that you need to do. So it's not enough to just think of it. It's not enough to just feel it. We have to fall in love with it, with the mental picture of it. And as if we are living it now, that is what we need to be emitting to be able to be in this joyous, deliberate creation, right? Because if I am feeling the $1 million and everything that I'm going to do with the $1 million, I am embodying what I already feel like as a millionaire. Even though I'm not a millionaire in physical reality, my imagination, the depth of my thought, is creating a surge of very powerful energy. And this energy is positive. It's going towards my desire. It doesn't have resistance. It's not thinking, oh, what if I don't get it? Because at that moment, I'm just so focused of like having it, feeling it. So you want to have intensity and speed when it comes to the energy. And the energy is basically the what are you emitting, your thoughts and your emotions, right? That's the energy that you are emitting. Remember, we are transmitters. We receive and we emit. So this is part of the asking. Step one, this is sort of part of the asking, right? It's, are we asking frequently, and are we asking with love and in depth, and how often are we doing this? Are we doing this just one time in the morning? Are we doing this 5 times? Are we doing this every time we get in the shower? It has just become a habit, right? It says here, example on how to practice. So that's what I put on the side. It says, when you are thinking about something that you have been wanting for a very long time, and in this moment, you are noticing that it has not yet happened, a strong negative emotion would be present within you. Yes, very true, right? If you are, say, the woman that would love to bear a child and you've been having challenges bearing a child and you're thinking of a child, instead of being excited, most likely it's a feeling of like guilt, shame, depression, sadness, because you haven't been able to accomplish it, right? But it says here, a strong negative emotion would present within you, for you are thinking about something that has very strong energy that you are not in vibrational alignment with. And so you are not in vibrational alignment. Why? Because it feels bad. That's why, right? You may be there. That may be the reality, but it's not the truth of our being. The truth of our being is happy, love, exhilaration, joy, all of these higher vibrations. You may be in this state right now. That may be your reality, but that is not the truth of who you are. So that is why it feels bad. When you think of not being able to bear a child, that's why it's a negative feeling, because it's not who you are. Who you are is loving, joyful, meaning if you're not able to bear a child, you're not going to feel guilty and shameful. You're going to embody the, well, shit, F it. Who knows what I came to this world to do? Maybe to adopt children, maybe to create a school for, I don't know, right? Something. There's something else in the journey for you. It's not just that. It's not what you may want it to be. It's what you came here for, right? So it's more like embodying that feeling and saying, hey, empower yourself and say, I may not have children. Who knows why? What is the purpose of this? I don't know. Let's go looking for a purpose. What am I going to do now? If bearing children is not the thing for me, well, what can I do now? Instead of staying in this thought process of feeling bad and guilt and shame, because I know that family members can definitely do that. Like, stop, you're 33, you're not going to have a baby. Soon you're gonna, hit menopause and you can't bear children after a certain age and you ain't got none and you still don't get married. There's always something cultural in the background. But if you stand in your empowerment of saying, hey, no matter how much I want it, it's not here in the moment, let go and let God. Let it go. He, she, we, whatever you want to call it, they know what you want. Now let's figure out, is this for us? If this is not for us, where can we go? Because me feeling bad or negative about the situation is saying here that I am not in vibrational alignment with it. So by me feeling bad and guilty and shameful or whatever the case may be, sad, stressed, that's not going to make my, energy flow to where I could have a baby. Right? I am energy. If I'm energy and I'm not able to host a baby within me, then for sure holding more stress in my body is not going to be a benefit anyways. So just let it go. Let it go and focus on something that's going to bring you pride and joy at the moment. What can be that love, pride, and joy at the moment, and start to sort of navigate yourself towards that way to release that tension, because that's the whole point here. The contrast is the negative or the dark or whatever you want to call it, the unfortunate, what we don't like. But we got to go through that to know what we do want, what we do like, where we do want to go, what we are willing to do, right? So it's like, okay, we're here now. How can I navigate myself back to here? Because only in this state can I receive. I cannot receive in this other state. So if I already know this, then let's try to navigate myself out of it. So that's why it says here with practice, because it doesn't come natural to us. I think once we get really in tune with what it is, we will naturally know how to go about manifesting so much more faster. But until then, it doesn't come natural to us. Right? Most of the time, what comes natural to us is whatever our programming from childhood has been. That's what we know, and that's how we react and we go about life. So then here it says, we are not encouraging you to make an effort to control your thoughts, but instead to make an effort to more or less guide your thoughts. So once again, right, we're not going to create in this resistance. We're not going to create in the feeling of shame, guilt, fear, disgust, sadness, anger, but we will be able to go ahead and create when we are in love, joy, happiness, abundance. So if I'm mad, if I'm angry, okay, once again, observe your thoughts more than judge them, because the more you judge your thoughts, the more deeper into the rabbit hole you can get, because it's like, I know better, I shouldn't do this. And I'm speaking from my own experience. Right? I know better. I should know better. Oh, I should be embarrassed. Oh my God, how embarrassing. Right? All these things. And it's like, no, guess what? This is a new devil, a new level, a new challenge that I have to face myself with. So, no, I've never been through this specifically. I've been through other stuff, but not this. So, why am I giving myself shit for feeling some type of way? Right? This is a whole new journey. I can't judge myself on the I should know better. Obviously, I don't. I wouldn't, right? So guide yourself, be observant. What am I feeling? How can I deviate from where I'm at and just head more towards where I want to go? And that's basically what, to me, this uh stood out, is basically with practice, is basically saying, Amber, it's okay to not know. It's okay to make mistakes, because it's going to be with practice. With practice, you will become. It's not saying maybe, it's not saying possibly, it's not saying 99%. It's saying with practice, you will become. Become meaning be. You will be that joyous, deliberate creator. So, it just soothes things out for me, because I can definitely be very hard on myself. And this is one of those things where it says, Amber, it's only with practice, because you've only done so much practice. You've only learned so much. You've only been able to identify so much, and there's still so much more to come. Things I've never experienced, challenges I've never been through. So just because I have a little bit of wisdom or a little bit of knowledge and experience on something, it doesn't mean that it's enough for the next situation to not throw me off course a little, and be open to that change and saying, okay, it feels like I've been through this road before. But right now I'm feeling a little anxious, as if I don't know how to go about the situation. So what can I do differently than what I'm used to doing? Right? It's just being open to saying, okay, I don't know everything. I may fall, and it's okay if I fall. Let's just get back up. Or before we fall, is there a little handle somewhere? Can we hang ourselves from somewhere before we kiss that floor? Because at the end of the day, it's about being open and receptive to receiving, even those challenges that we don't appreciate. And I know that I was, talking to Misty, and we were, discussing a little bit about it. And sometimes it's like, why? But why? It's like, why the same thing though? And it's like, it needs to come up as often as it needs to come up until I get it. It's very simple. It's until I get it. And if I'm not getting it, it's because maybe something is not being communicated within myself, from myself, within myself. So it tells me, do I need to slow down a little bit more? Do I need to meditate a little bit more? Do I need to journal a little bit more? Do I need to spend a little bit more alone time, where I'm being influenced by my thoughts and my emotions and my energy only, right? It's a lot of different things that can happen, but I wouldn't be able to identify them if I don't kind of step back and say, okay, this is coming again, telling me the same thing again. But how come I didn't listen the first time around? But who knows? Something is missing here. Let's continue practicing. That's all there is. Get back up, kick the ball, fall down, get back up, kick the ball, fall down, and over and over and over till you can kick the ball without falling down, and you don't gotta get back up because you're up. So that's a little bit of what I can share, my love. How about yourself?
Thank you, beautiful. So for me, I'm going to start off by just reading something. It says, and with enough focusing on this thought and therefore practicing this vibration. So there it is again, practicing, you form what you call a belief. So basically just getting into the belief, that's kind of what I wanted to touch on. A belief is only a practice vibration. So anytime or anything that we are practicing, that becomes something that we start to believe altogether. And therefore, that is why we are seeing it. So if we're constantly practicing, these negative thoughts, going back to kind of like what you were saying with the pregnant woman, that I can't bear a child, even though like she's trying, she's getting injections, she's doing all this stuff, but like in her, you know what I mean, inside, although she's doing all these other things, the belief is truly that she knows she can't bear a child. It's not going to happen. That attraction to that, her being able to conceive, is not going to happen. So just really being able to tap into the thoughts that we continually are practicing and seeing how they correlate with how our life is unfolding is very, very powerful. And kind of that to me is kind of what the chapter, that's what stood out to me in this chapter, is really just being able to tune into what I'm practicing on the day-to-day base, on like, what's coming up in my mind, my thoughts, my emotions, and what I'm believing all together, and how it's unfolding. Because really, it's so true. Like the things that you focus on, and definitely there's so much emotion behind it, and energy. Um, for sure, that's what drives everything. Cause like just going back to my like F1 tickets, because that just happened. So I'm gonna just keep speaking on that for a little while because I'm gonna be going again. Um, so really, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, I wanted these F1 tickets, and there was a race like maybe like 4 or 5 months ago. I didn't get those tickets, but I was like, you know what? There's more races coming. I didn't like just stop like, oh, I didn't get the tickets. I'm not going. I just never really had that. Just kind of like you said, stepping back and reflecting. There was never a time in my mind that I doubted that I wasn't gonna go. So I already had that strong belief, and like I'm continuously watching the races. I'm like looking, I'm excited. I'm like, yes, I can't wait to go to the races. So all that really builds up, and that vibration, it just like can, and you every, you know what I mean? And the more you're practicing it, every week there's a race. So every week I get to watch, and then between you're doing this. So it's like really just putting that energy and that focus into all these things, and that practice. You know what I mean? Like all that put together, that's what creates that experience for you to have, that what you wanted, that's what you get. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there all together, because there's so many different elements that like click together that really make things come together for us. And just knowing what these pieces are just so empowering. So I'm just so thankful for this book, altogether. So thank you, Esther and Jerry, and all of our non-physical friends, as they would say, for really putting this together and allowing us to do this. And thank you, Amber, for doing this with me, because I really enjoy listening to your part of it as well. So, is there anything you'd like to add? Okay, so definitely, I know someone has something to add to this. Definitely put it in the comments, share. Um, tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell everybody. Let them know what's up, and how amazing and how powerful we truly are, and how we are really in control of, so can be in control of so much. Like we really are creating the life that we have on the day to day, and how we feel, we have total control over that. So I just want to continue to empower everyone, and continue to grow this community all together. And we will definitely see you all in the next chapter.